This is Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Now, on my channel, I talk about prospects. We all know that. And, you know, there's some of the prospects that are moving up into, you know, they're being ranked by sanctioning bodies. And some of them, man, are a fight or two away probably from positioning themselves to maybe a title shot. You got guys like Jarrell Miller and Trevor Bryan and Iju Aganu and Gerald Washington. Even, you know, a year or so ago when Parker and Joshua were looked at as prospects. And then you got some of the guys that are under 10-0 or maybe 11 and 12 and 0 or under. Guys like Stephen Shaw. Oscar Rivas has more fights than that, but Oscar Rivas, Trey Lippy Morrison, who's coming up now. Otto Wallen, Michiel Wallish, Tom Schwartz. I mean, I go on and on. Adrian Granat, Alexander Teslenko is another guy that I like. Darmani Rock, Khan Sheehan, Alexis Santos, Nick Mazurek, kid from Chicago, the Polish kid. Who else is out there, man? Nathan Gorman, Ricky Hatton's protege. Then you got Nick Webb out there in the UK. I mean, there's a lot of fighters. I don't want to name all of them. I shouldn't even start. I shouldn't even start it. But there's another prospect that I've talked about on this page, man. And he just stood out to me when I watched his, I believe it was like his second fight. He's 7-0 with 4 knockouts. But just the balance, and he's a guy that's coming over from basketball. He has a little amateur career, but nothing extensive, you know what I mean? So he came over from college basketball, and he has balance. He has a little bit of power. He got size. He's 6'6", 240. Looks to be in great shape. The youth. When I was watching him, that's what caught me. Was just the size, the balance, being able to feint. Just little subtle things that usually a more experienced prospect would have. He was showcasing those, and I know the fights when you're coming up, they're not, you know, you're not fighting world beaters, you know what I mean? So he's a big mobile guy. Like another prospect that I didn't name, Junior Fa from New Zealand, is a guy who showed me in World Series of Boxing that he's, you know, can be mobile for a big 6'6", 250, 60-pound guy. So, but back to Cassius Chaney though, he will be fighting November 26th, man, and he is now being trained by John David Jackson, which makes sense being that he's with Main Events. He will be taking on Carlos Sandoval. Sandoval just fought Chaz Witherspoon. I did a video about that. Some of you remember Chaz Witherspoon from the Seth Mitchell fight and Chris Ariola. But yeah, Sandoval lost to him. So you know, it's a fight that Chaney should win, and he should advance to 8-0 after the fight. But this kid, man, Main Events need to really start doing something with this kid, man. In my opinion, he should have been on the undercard, at least probably the non-televised portion, at least of the Kovalev versus Ward. Main Event should have tried to work that out. Maybe they couldn't. Man, it would have been great to have, since, you know, it's Wars with Rock Nation. You could have Darmani Rock. That's somebody else I forgot to mention too. Darmani Rock's well, no, I did mention Rock, but they put Rock on Ward's card. You know, it was non-televised, but at least they had him on the card, man. So you know, so he can get out there and be a part of those type of cards. But Cassius Chaney, man, I think he needs to be on some of these Main Event cards. I hope they don't drop the ball on this young man. Eric Molina is the guy who's trying to get him in his training camp. And Molina said the same thing when I interviewed him. You can check the interview. It's in my playlist, fighter interviews in my playlist, that Molina thought the same thing. He wants to get him in his training camp. And even he was saying that he hopes that Main Events does something with this kid. Most notably, he was in the Tyson Fury camp. And I've brung this up many times on my channel, but he was a part of that training camp, that group of guys that was getting Fury ready for that first Klitschko fight. You know what I mean? And it was Cassius Chaney was in that camp. Hughie Fury was in that camp. Did I mention Hughie's part of the prospects? Hughie Fury's another good one. But Young Fury was in that camp. Nick Asbury, American prospect who just lost his first fight. He lost to Malcolm Tan. Malcolm Tan came back after years and years away from the sport, and he got a victory over Nick Asbury. Actually stopped him, but I like to see Nick Asbury back in action, though. I think the kid has a lot of talent, and he got some size. Just, you know, see if he can come back and get it going again. But yeah, man, Chaney will be in action November 26th, and he was a part of that camp. And then what's funny about that, which he mentions in the Fight News interview, and I will leave that link in the description box where I've seen his interview. He was saying that Klitschko was trying to get him in his training camp. You know what I mean? And Cassius said he didn't want to do it because he felt as if he, you know, built some type of bond with the Furies, and when he was out there training with those guys, and they treated him like family. So I can understand his point of view. Now, just stepping back and looking at it from a fan's point of view, I just think that, hey, at the end of the day, all you guys are trying to be the best at the end of the day. So if you go and help out Klitschko, it's to help you also. It's not just to help Klitschko, it's to help you. So I wouldn't look at it as like, oh, that you're being a traitor or anything like that. Shit, you're trying to get as much experience as you can. And I think if you got guys like Wladimir Klitschko that wants to give you some experience, you should take it. But maybe he was going to help Fury out again for Klitschko. I don't know. But I'm just saying from the outside looking in. And but yeah, Eric Molina said he was trying to get him in his camp. This was like 2 weeks ago when I had that interview with Molina, and he was talking about getting this kid in his camp. So he's in high demand right now for training camps, man. But hopefully he's taking advantage. I know he wants to focus on himself too. But world-class sparring like that, though, you want to make sure that you can get as much of that as you possibly can, especially being on your way up. And I'm sure he knows that. But he's working with a damn good trainer, John David Jackson, former title holder himself, and you know, when he was fighting. So right now he is in the Kovalev camp, working with that camp right now and preparing for his fight. So just wanted to get it out there, man, that the kid will be fighting November 26th, 7-0 with 4 knockouts. In one of those fights, man, now, in no way in the world am I comparing this kid to Riddick Bowe, okay? But I'm just saying, there was like a glimpse of, you know, portions of fights when I was like, man, he kind of looks like Riddick Bowe a little bit. You know what I mean? Just because of the size and when he was coming forward and throwing punches. But he has a lot to prove if he wants to be up there, even mentioned with a guy like Riddick Bowe. But just from the eye test and just comparing him to someone else that we all know, he kind of gave me that look. But Bowe was a very good inside fighter. He had an excellent jab when he used it. I'm not comparing him to Bowe, but I just seen that glimpse, you know what I mean? But just getting this video out there, man. I'm out.